If you wouldn't follow yourself, why should anyone else? The first person you should lead is yourself. Don't wait until the pressure's on to make a character choice. If you become the leader you ought to be on the inside, you will become the leader you want to be on the outside. Quality number 7. Discernment. Great leaders have the quality of discernment in them, and I want to say this in the beginning of this part. Of everything I'm going to teach you today on qualities, this is the hardest one to teach, because it's very difficult to help people get a handle on discernment or intuition. It's very subjective, but it's also very essential. So I'm going to do my best shot. In your notes, smart leaders believe only half of what they hear. Discerning leaders know which half to believe. And this is a difficult subject to teach. It's a difficult subject to learn. And I want to say this. A lot of times, good leaders lack discernment. But your goal is not the fact that you're not going to miss it sometimes. Your goal is to minimize the damage. And you minimize it by minimizing the times you miss. For example, Napoleon, he missed sometimes. When Napoleon was at breakfast with his generals before the Battle of Waterloo in 1815, he said, "I tell you, Wellington is a bad general, the English are bad soldiers, and we will settle this matter before lunchtime." Hello. Thomas Watson, the chairman of IBM in 1943, said, "I think there is a world market for about 5 computers." Missed it there. And poor Jimmy Hoffa. 1 month before his disappearance in 1975, he says, "I don't need a bodyguard." Oh, Jimmy. Like to bring that one back. So how do you and I develop discernment? Since it's hard to teach, let me see if I can teach it. Let's see if you can grab it. Number 1, stay in your strength zone. Now, we've already talked about that, but I got to come back to it again, because one of the reasons you want to stay in your strength zone is it not only helps you to become more competent, but let me tell you something. You are discerning in the area of your giftedness. The most important thing I can tell you about intuition, the most important thing I can tell you about discernment is this. In the area of your giftedness, you are discerning, and if you're not gifted in an area, you lack discernment. Intuition always follows giftedness. Let me explain. I just naturally have an inward compass. I just don't get lost. I'm just good with directions. I sense. I don't know how to explain this, except I know. I know north, south, east to west, and I just kind of know how to get there, and I land right. I just do. My wife has no gift. She has no inner compass. She called me one day. I was at the house, and she said, "John, I'm lost." I said, "Where are you?" She said, "Well, I'm down in Buckhead." And she said, she said, "Answer this question." She said, "Am I going north, south, east, or west?" Well, I said, "Margaret, I'm not in the car. It is a drawback. But let me see if I can help you," because it was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I said, "Look out the car window. Where's the sun?" She said, "Oh, the sun's on the passenger side." I said, "You're going south." "How do you know this?" "John, you're not in the car. How do you know I'm going?" In fact, I said, "Margaret, do a U-turn. You're going the wrong way. Just do a U-turn. Come exactly opposite," which is what I've taught her all the years. I tell her when she gets off an elevator, if she wants to go right, always go left and she'll have it. In fact, I tell her, just go opposite of what you think and you're going to get it every time. Because your compass is not only not inside, but it is a messed up compass. It's a backward compass. I've just never seen anything right. If she has 10 decisions to make on compassing, all 10 of them are wrong. Now, I'm laughing at her, but let me tell you something. In the area of her giftedness, she's incredible. I've been telling you, she loves moving, and she loves getting to a house. She loves decorating. She's fabulous with colors. And I'm worthless. And I can't even put my clothes together. I have no clue. I go into my closet and I just freeze. I just look at the clothes in my closet, and I have been known to stand in my closet for 15 minutes without making a move. Just looking and kind of drooling, trying to figure out what I should wear. In fact, Margaret, when she doesn't see me for a while, she'll say, John, are you in the closet? Yes, I am. Trying to figure out what to wear? Yeah, I am. And then she makes me step outside the closet, which is so humiliating. So I step outside the closet. She asks, what are you going to do? And she'll just take a sweater, and she'll put things together, and then she throws them at me. Okay. So I think, okay, I got it. I got this. And then, so I'll put all those clothes on one hanger. And maybe 10 days later, I'll go to that one hanger, and I'll take this stuff off, and I'll think, this is good. And I'll walk out, and she'll say, going to wear that again? And then she goes in, and she says, you need to change the sweater with that, and the shirt with that, same pair of slacks. And all she likes to do, she just likes to mess with my mind all the time. If Margaret said this once, she said this 1,000 times in her marriage. John, why can't you figure this out? This is so easy. It's just obvious. I've taught you how. Haven't I shown this to you before? Yeah. Show it to me again and again. You ought to see when I get up before she gets up and I go do something and she didn't pick out the clothes. I come home and she said, did you wear that? No. It's a mirage, Margaret. It's a mirage. I'm standing before you absolutely naked. You just think I have these clothes on. Then she'll say, where did you go and who did you see? I was on CNN. The whole world saw me this morning. Now, what am I saying? It's very simple. Discernment is always in the area of your strength. If you're good at it, you're discerning. If you're not good at it, you're not discerning. So stay in your strength zone if you want to develop your discernment. Number 2, evaluate each experience. We've all heard that experience is the best teacher. I'm here to tell you it's not the best teacher. Evaluated experience is the best teacher. Just because you've had experience doesn't mean that you're better at it. It's like a pastor friend of mine that wasn't really a successful pastor. He'd been in the ministry for 20 years. And he came to me one time and said, John, he said, I had 20 years of experience. I said, no, you haven't, Bob. He said, what do you mean I haven't? He said, I'm in my 20th year. I said, no, you haven't had 20 years of experience. I said, you've had 1 year of experience 20 times. He didn't evaluate his experience. It's out of evaluated experience that you really learn. One of the things I practice every evening, practice it last night, I'll practice it tonight. Every evening of my life, I take, not a long time, maximum 15 minutes, sometimes only 5 minutes. But every evening, I do reflective thinking. Every evening, I get by myself, usually right before I go to bed, and I just reflect on my day, and I ask, who have I seen, and what have I done, and what have I accomplished, and have I helped anybody, and if I did help somebody, who did I help? And I go through reflective thinking. In my book, Thinking for a Change, I do a whole chapter on reflective thinking. Why do I talk about that so much? Because reflective thinking turns experience into insight. When I reflect on what I have done, that's when I begin to have insight and discernment about what's happening to me. So not only stay in your strength zone, but evaluate every experience. Number 3, support discernment with information. Stay in your notes with me, please. Information without discernment equals missed opportunities. And, let me go on, discernment without information equals missed decisions. Never ignore a gut feeling, but never believe that it is enough. You see the balance that I'm talking about? In your notes, leaders of large organizations must cope with the tremendous chaos of complexity every day. They are never able to gather enough information to get a complete picture of just about anything. As a result, they have to rely on discernment. Researcher Henry Mitzberg of McGill University stated, here's an important statement. Organizational effectiveness does not lie in that narrow-minded concept called rationality. It lies in the blend of clear-headed logic and powerful intuition. Discernment enables a leader to see a partial picture, fill in the missing pieces intuitively, and find the real heart of the matter. One more thing. Test your gut feeling with experienced, successful people. I have found this to be huge in my life. In other words, what I'm saying to you is when you have a gut feeling about something, we've already learned, don't just rely on the gut feeling, but go to somebody that's successful in the area that you're thinking about. Remember, that's in the strength zone for them. It may not be your strength zone, and bounce it off of them. So when I want to make a strategic decision, I sit down and talk to Dave Sutherland. When I want to make a relational decision, I sit down and talk to John Hall. When I want to make a business decision, I sit down and talk to my brother Larry. When I want to make an opportunity decision, I stop and talk to Kevin Small. I've never seen anybody that can find and smell opportunities better than him. When I want to make a financial decision, I talk to Dave Anderson. When I want to make a big picture decision, I talk to my assistant Linda Eggers because she's always handling all the stuff I've got to do. And by the way, every decision I talk to my wife Margaret. But learn to support yourself with people that are in their strength zones so you can match your intuition, discernment, and gut feeling with those strength zones. You see, the greatest value of discernment, it gives you a head start. People that are discerning and people that are intuitive, they get started before anyone else. And that's key.